It is so great to be back here at our Next Step house on Flutter Road.
I love this house. You know, we've had people from 20 different states come here specifically to see this house.
Literally thousands of
It's
people.
amazing. And you know, all the outdoor living now that we have here, it's gorgeous being spring and summer.
You know, the nice thing about the Next Step house is the STEP actually stands for Smart Technology and Energy Performance. We have got the latest and greatest of all the automation in the world here, plus we net a zero utility bill at the end of the year.
This is absolutely amazing. And we had probably the best winter we've ever had. How many people would you guess we've had out to the Next Step Technology House?
I'm guessing we're somewhere around 12, 13,000.
And where have they come from?
Everywhere. I mean, we've had as far as New York and Texas.
California, Wisconsin. We had a lot of the people here from Design Week. They wanted to come through and just specifically tour this house. And they spent like 3 hours out here.
Oh, we've had state senators, and they've all been mammothly impressed. Now, we get to open up the exterior and all the fun stuff that we have out here. So what do we have to offer?
You know, Matt is a grass whisperer. Oh, I have never seen any grass that looks this great. It's like you're walking. Hey, guys!
No! Shoes off!
Shoes!
Come on!
For the grass?
This is like carpet. Are you kidding? Come on, well, have a seat. We're just talking about the Next Step house. Is this not the most amazing home you guys have ever been at? This is beautiful out here.
Guys, I see why you made me take my shoes off. This grass really is just like carpet. It's so thick.
Matt's the grass whisperer.
It is.
Thanks for joining us today, guys. Welcome to another episode of Between the Studs. We're joined today by part of the Granite Ridge Builders team, including our owner and president, Tony Reinke. We're a custom builder focused on areas like southern Michigan, northwest Ohio, and parts of northern Indiana. We're out here at beautiful 7467 Flutter Road today to talk about some of the really cool parts and pieces of our Next Step home.
You know, this Next Step home just does have everything to it. And one thing that people don't understand about energy efficiency is Fort Wayne, Indiana actually has more solar producing days than Phoenix, Arizona. Because if it gets too hot, the efficiency of those solar panels actually goes down.
It's true. You're right. And you guys mentioned it. The STEP stands for Smart Technology. We got hundreds of things in this house that you can actually control with any app from your phone or your tablet. And then the energy performance side of things, this house is actually a net zero, which means we have no electric or gas bills. And on a nice sunny day like today, those electric panels out back are producing way more power than we actually need for this house.
Okay, so all of those things might be nice, but the design is pretty amazing. It's not your average home, and it definitely does not look like a smart home or a energy efficient home. It is amazing.
That's the great thing about this house. There's something for everyone.
There is.
And this is probably the most unique house in the country at this point, and everybody has access to it on Sundays. I know you've been out here a lot. In fact, you're not even getting comments about the house now, you're getting comments about our subdivision.
Yeah, just this community, River Hollow, features over 1 acre parcels. You can do carriage barns for extra storage out back. We're building so many homes just based on the model in this floor plan right now.
Yeah, and the part that I love is people are actually taking those carriage barns and they're actually putting them to the house. So people are ending up with 5+ car garage connected to a house. That's my type of house.
It's amazing.
What was it, 2,000 square feet in the garage the last time?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We got a problem. We still got to figure out what are we going to talk about for today's show. Now, I've been thinking, you know me, here's what I got. We've been talking about what's underfoot. We had a good show there. Everybody still comments about the carpeting and everything, right? We had what's up. How about this? What's out? Everything's in that's out now, correct? Okay. What we got to do is, this is like carpet. I have never seen grass done like this. I don't know if he fertilizes it or how he does. Who is the one that does this? Matt Schreiman. He's unbelievable, and he's on our staff. Here's what we'll just do. Let's go grab Matt. Let's talk about a lot of the things, like even about mulch, some of the things we can do for landscaping, and he has one massively great surprise for our people that come out and see us, and it's something to do with the iPad.
I think we'll focus on that later. It's real cool tech stuff.
Okay, let's go find Matt. Let's go talk about some of the out stuff, and then we'll also talk about outdoor living and stuff. How's that? Stay tuned. Find him.
I'm staying here.
got there?
Oh, some fertilizer. Got to keep this yard looking pretty good.
Okay, well I got some questions about that because I just got a new yard and we put 300 of them in last year. Now, I've gotten some advice, but it's kind of conflicting. Are we supposed to fertilize and how often? And then I know there's these numbers, like this one says 15, 15, 15, but I have no idea what that means.
It doesn't surprise me. Most people don't. Yes, you do want to fertilize at least 4 times a year if you really want a nice looking lawn. And by the way, this is my go-to fertilizer. If you have a yard that's struggling and you really need it to start thickening and get some good results, this is basically called starter fertilizer. The 3 numbers are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So on this bag it's 15, 15, 15. So 15% of it in the bag is nitrogen, 15% phosphorus, 15% potassium.
That makes sense.
Right.
Now, we have real hard clay here. So is this essentially the food for the grass?
Oh, absolutely. If you want to remember, up, down, all around. So nitrogen gives you your top growth, less green growth. The middle is your phosphorus, which is for a good root system. And then your last number is your potassium, which that's for your all-around health. It helps against environmental stresses such as pests, diseases, heat, cold. So up, down, and all around.
Got it, up, down, all around. Now I got one more question because I've heard this. Now we're on a pond here. Is there one of those numbers that you got to be careful when you're next to some body of water?
Yeah, a lot of your fertilizers will not have the center number, which is your phosphorus. And phosphorus runoff into lakes, streams, ponds is what creates a lot of algae and problems. So they are taking that out, and you should be careful.
All right.
So Matt, now that we've talked about how to feed the yard, I heard another big component is moisture, water in the yard. How in the heck are we supposed to tackle that?
Well, here at the next step, I have probably one of the state-of-the-art systems. It's called Ratio, and I think we were one of the first ones in our area to install it, and I'll show you that in a little bit.
So you might know, I'm pretty tech savvy. I love the gadgets that are inside this house. I know I can use the iPad for all that, but you're telling me I can use this same iPad to make sure my yard comes in?
Well, I'm not tech savvy, and I guarantee you I can make any zone here come on whenever I want, even when I'm at home.
I tell you what, we got to take a look at that. That sounds awesome. I'm so excited to learn about this system that you're going to talk about in terms of being able to maintain this wonderful yard.
Yeah, here at the Next Step House, we have a 16-zone irrigation system, and I can control it completely wirelessly through my iPad anytime I want, wherever I want. There's a lot of instances, let's say you're here in Fort Wayne and you have a lake home and you had the old system where you had to turn your knob. Now, if it's pouring down rain for 3 days and you haven't been up there, you can wirelessly turn off your system while you're watching, the Super Bowl.
That's unbelievable. So we can control the sprinklers that we have in there. Are there any other parts and pieces that this app will control?
Yeah, we have, besides just our irrigation zones, we have a drip system installed also. All the hanging baskets and planters and trees in pots that I have here, it's all controlled through drip irrigation. This is also linked to the weather forecast, so it can automatically tell whether it's raining here or not, and turn on and off remotely without me even being involved.
Wow. And we also have I think you talked about drip irrigation. We're going to talk about that later, but what's drip irrigation?
Drip irrigation is becoming really big right now. For all those pots and baskets that people have, it's a really neat way to control the amount of water, the time you are set up to irrigate them. It's just a fabulous idea.
So there's one part about this that really interests me. You're telling me that from this iPad, wherever I go, whether anybody can see me or not, I can turn on all these sprinklers whenever I want.
Yeah, you can do that.
That might come in handy at some point in time.
It has already.
Tony, what are you doing?
We have to get ready for the next segment. I was told I need to grab all the signs because we got something big coming up here soon.
We're going to use those later in the show, but here, let me put these back.
Okay, Matt, I am embarrassed to say my grandma's amazing green thumb was not passed down to me. I think I can kill just about anything. So Luke sent me this flower power. How is this supposed to help me?
Okay, well this is, you can connect this to an app on your phone.
Okay.
And basically this will send you alerts on how much sunlight your plant's getting, water, fertilizer, temperature of the plant. I think there's like 6,000 plants.
Wow. So this takes the whole guesswork out of what I'm supposed to do to take care of my plant.
Well, not totally. Sometimes my rule of thumb is if you see the plant and it's under stress, I usually just stick my finger in there and see if it's wet.
Somehow that's never worked for me, but I'll give it a try, or I'll try this
Matt,
here too. This is really
Matt,
cool.
I need your help back here. I'm having trouble with this drip irrigation. Well, Matt, I know at my house every spring we spend a lot of money on our flowers. We have potted plants, we have things in the ground, and it's so hard every day to get out and water those. And then to go on vacation is a big deal. You have to have neighbors come and water them. I know you have a solution though for us.
Yeah, with this ratio controller, we can drip irrigate just about anything. We have all sorts of different emitters, sprays, and I have this set up to water these ferns twice a day, 8 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon for 2 minutes each time.
Wow, so this is tied to the irrigation system. Each pot has its own little line here, and I can see that it's working. What a great idea. Now, Matt, I need some help at my house. Can you help
Certainly.
me?
You know, Tony, I really did enjoy stringing up the lights for the party tonight and putting the porch furniture out, but I don't know about the, and by the way, hey, would you quit getting it in my...
I'm sorry.
something off the patio, this mulch stuff. You know, why are we even using mulch?
What is mulch?
I tell you what, Matt, question.
I'm gonna sound like an idiot, and I know that surprises you. But what is mulch and what is its purpose?
Well, mulch is basically for preparing the bed around your landscaping. It helps contain the moisture so that you don't dry out. And then it also forms a barrier for your weeds. Also, it just looks nice. There's multiple different kinds of mulch.
I've heard pine mulch, cypress mulch,
I've
heard
seen
hardships.
Red mulch, black mulch, white mulch.
Which are we supposed to use? You're the expert.
My preference is I like the darker colors. I just think it looks nicer. It's whatever your personal preference is. You could have red, you could have black. I mean, they make all kinds. As long as you put that barrier down, it's gonna do what you want it to do.
Okay, so the tip of the day is really it's personal preference, and use your landscaping around whatever color you want. That's pretty cool. All right,
Tony, we
you know what?
finished sweeping up
thanks
here.
a lot.
Sorry.
Matt, those look great. That's the last one, right?
Yep, that's it.
So you're telling me we can finally talk about what we've all been waiting to do for the whole show.
I can't
This is
wait.
it.
You've been talking about this for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm glad we get to finally introduce this to the audience. So this is what's called a QR code, right? These little barcodes here are called a quick reference code. We're out here at this innovation home, and we've had all this technology on the inside of the house, and we're finally excited to bring even some more technology to the outside of the house. So I think what we'll do is, Luke, why don't you grab one of these, and we'll talk about how this system really works.
Sure.
So each of these plants have a sign associated to it, right? And
Yeah.
you mentioned the QR. Is that what this is?
Yeah, so that little barcode there is what's called a QR, quick reference code. So from any smartphone, from any tablet, you can go onto the App Store and download a quick reference scanner, okay? So once we get that, we can hold our phone up to this little barcode, and it's gonna pop up with tons of information about all these different plants that we have out here, correct?
Right. What I've done is I've labeled a lot of the plants we have out here, and it'll link you to, as you scan that plant, it'll bring it up and it'll give you all the information about that plant, what zones it likes, growing conditions, all of that. And then it'll also link you to our whole collection that we have here.
So I can't tell you how many times sitting at this beautiful house, people ask me about all of the great landscaping that you've done, and I'm not an expert on landscaping by any means, but this almost sounds like somebody, a dummy like me, can get this figured out.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
So now, Matt, you mentioned that it gives you some information. So this will tell me if it likes to be planted in the sun versus the shade, roughly how tall or wide it gets. Because I know there's been several times where I planted something, it's gotten too big, and I've had to rip it out a few years later.
Exactly. We've entered in all those specifics under the plant collection for each plant.
Now we have this out at the Next Step house, but I understand that this is going to start actually trickling out to some of our other specs and models.
Right. We can add, as we progress, we'll have sub-collections for all our other model homes that have fantastic landscaping, and then you can link to all of them through each QR code.
So what you're saying is before you come out and check out our model homes, you should download that quick reference on your phone, so that way if you see a plant you like, you guys can scan it. All right, guys, before I forget where I grabbed this one, I'm going to go put it back in the ground.
You told me this works on the trees too, right?
Oh yeah, we have some over here.
Let's go look at that one over there.
Now, Elizabeth, we've talked before that lighting can be the jewelry of the home. Well, the same goes for the outdoors. Nothing dresses up the home more like a little bit of jewelry with lights.
It sure does. There's a lot of places you can do lighting. You could do some landscape lighting. That's a great example of taking maybe a beautiful tree in your yard and doing some up lighting at night. So you don't need a lot of lights, just a few. And then there's what I would call more of an ambience lighting. So you may have something like a pergola or a covered porch, and there's some neat lighting ideas you can do with that.
There are, so we have a lot of string lights that have the exposed bulbs. Really makes an awesome accent light. Don't forget, you can even use your Christmas lights still as with the icicles hanging down, a lot of different things there. Now, did you know the newest trend in lighting, instead of up lighting from the ground, they're actually doing down lighting, but using the down lighting coming from trees. So that actually gets a nice accent, and it's a totally different look.
And one thing to keep in mind, this is outside, so a good quality light is going to be important because it's going to be out in all of the elements.
Definitely. So you want to definitely look at some outdoor rated LEDs. Will really help that you don't have to get up in a high ladder and change out those bulbs all the time.
Now you could also do a little bit of task lighting, which we've done that out here at the Next Step house. You may have a step and you could do a rope lighting under that, so that'll help at night with tripping and you can see where you're going.
It does, and it's also a wonderful look. Now, the other thing to consider with outdoor living is the furniture. You want to make sure you have some comfortable furniture and furniture that lasts as well.
There's a lot to choose from. We're seeing, obviously there's table and chair sets, but we're seeing people do a lot of couch in group settings, so you can sit and talk to people, not just eat.
Yeah, the indoors is definitely being brought outside in more occasional sort of accents. You have large sofas, like you mentioned, and really, we even have things like here at the fire table, some really fun stuff.
There's a lot of great ideas, and another thing to consider when it comes to your furniture too is cushions. There's a lot of options when it comes to, you know, a cushion that can be removed, something that doesn't take a cushion. So keep that in mind when it comes to maintenance.
And Choice Designs has all sorts of options for you, including some umbrella fabrics, different things to help you with your outdoor living area. So don't forget to contact Choice Designs in decorating your outside.
Luke, this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. When they said we were going to do a show today about I don't know if I wanted to clean windows, but here's what's interesting. Have you noticed how every time we clean these windows, we don't have to clean them? It's not dirty.
Yeah, we've had this house for almost a year, and there's hardly any water spots on it.
Oh, I just thought of something. If we had read the instructions, guess what? These are our Anderson low 4E glass. We don't have to.
You're right. Now, you said low E4, so there's
Okay.
4 advantages with those windows.
There is, and you know what we've never done? To our audience, we use a product and have been for about 20 years now. We've been using Anderson windows. There's some special features. There's 4 of them. Luke, would you explain to our audience now what the 4 advantages are of going to an Anderson low 4E?
Absolutely. So it's low E4, and the low E stands for low emissivity. That's bullet point number 1. Low emissivity actually means that there's tiny little strands of highly reflective material through the glass on this window, which that blocks out UV light and infrared light, which means that it'll help with fading, and it also help with the warming up the inside of the house.
Okay, and I understand it's about 41% and 37% efficient either way, from summer and or winter.
Right. So yeah, in the wintertime it works the opposite way as it does the summer.
That's an amazing advantage.
Yep. So that's advantage number 1.
Okay.
And now there's also advantage number 2, which is the argon filled between the 2 panes.
Which is a heavy gas.
Yep, it's a heavy gas, and it adds R value or U value in windows to the actual window, so it's more energy efficient.
So cold and heat won't conduct as easily through that window. That's a big advantage.
You're correct.
Okay,
And
that's
then,
2.
Yep.
Number 3.
Number 3 is all of the Anderson 400 series windows that we put standard
Yep.
come with a protective film on the inside and outside of the glass.
So like on this window, they have a protective film, and when we're done,
Yep.
we peel that off.
Right.
so I don't have all of the mortar joints, the dirt while we're building.
Yep, and so that film is on from the moment that it is being built in the factory all the way to the final cleaning of the house. So it protects that window all the way through the process.
Unbelievable advantage.
Yep. Now, we were mentioning that this window had number four. This window had hardly any water spots.
Yeah.
That's due to the titanium dioxide coating that's on the outside of this window.
Titanium dioxide, like as in my golf club.
Yeah, titanium, yeah, exactly. Now, what that does is actually, glass is not perfect, so that smooths that out.
A little bit of pores.
Yep, and then through a photocatalytic process, the sun actually charges this glass up, and then through a hydrophilic process, whenever it rains, that rain actually washes these windows clean. So instead of getting the little beads, you actually get sheets of water shedding off of this glass. So think of like a heavy-duty Rain-X that is actually warranted.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's warranted for 20 years.
Okay, so dirt doesn't stick on the windows like most windows do, so I really don't have to clean.
You're exactly right.
And do I have to clean the inside window still?
Yeah, you still have to clean the inside
Okay,
window.
so that didn't help.
Nope.
Now also here's another tip for everybody. We do that, and we have titanium dioxide. I do understand that there is a problem potential if you would be using a razor blade to scrape this. What happens?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to use any kind of abrasive or a razor blade on the outside of this window because it'll scrape that coating right off, and then it'll obviously void the warranty, and you'll get more of those water spots.
Those are some really big advantages with Anderson. Now, we've never done this before. Let's talk to our audience a little bit about two of the most popular windows in the country. One is double hung.
Yep.
One's casement. What's the difference?
Absolutely. Well, double hung just simply slides up or down.
Okay.
Both sashes can move up or down.
So double hung means both of them operate.
Right. Now, a casement will actually, it's on an arm, so it swings out.
Okay, so you crank it out.
Yes.
A little bit easier probably sometimes for some people.
It's a little bit easier, and then it also allows more wind to get into the house because it actually acts as almost like a kite where it's bringing that wind in. Most people like the feel of the casement, but they like the looks of the double hung.
Okay, I've got a special tip that Luke just taught me, and that's this. How can I get the feel of a casement, but you said there's a possibility now of getting the look of a double hung with that casement window.
Yeah.
How do you in the world do you do that?
You do it with window grids. So you've seen probably a standard grid. Well, you can actually put a check rail in the middle of it where it's a 2 3/4 inch check rail, so it gives you that look that there's actually two separate sashes, but it's actually one large casement window.
Okay, so the picture we're seeing right now, that has 3 windows. What are they all? All 3 of those are what windows?
The one window to the right is your double hung window.
Okay.
The picture in the middle is a picture window, and the picture to the left is actually a casement. And it's very hard to tell on that picture. They all look identical.
Okay, that's pretty special. You need to teach me a little bit more about these windows. So we've also got a couple other things that we need to talk about next.
Luke, I don't know what's going on with these windows, but normally when I hit a shot like that, they shatter immediately.
Yeah, well, this is actually a special type of window we got on this Next Step house. This is actually made of plexiglass, and it's got a memory to it. Go ahead, try to hit it.
With the club?
Whatever.
Are you kidding
See
me? So when I hit those bad shots, the ball doesn't like go through it?
Nope, it won't go through it, and then it'll leave a little indentation, but within a matter of seconds, it's gone. You can't even tell where you hit it.
That's pretty cool. Where would you use these windows?
Well, people are using them obviously on golf courses, but then they're starting to use them on lakes, and just it's kind of an extension of the outdoors because within a matter of seconds you can pull all these panels down or up, so you can almost create a 3-season room or a screened-in porch. So on the real windy days or maybe slightly cold, you can close it up, still sit outside, or on the real nice days you can pull it all up and get a little bit of breeze through there.
Yeah, get a chance to use that space a little more than just two seasons out of the year.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Tony, outdoor living has to be talked about when you say what's out, right?
Oh, it has to be. Outdoor living is getting bigger and bigger. I cannot tell you how many people come in to design their homes and say, make the outdoor space bigger.
And the kitchens like we've got here, the grills. Well, guess what? This is going to be the first annual Tony Grill Off. All right, what do you got?
I have got infrared, I've got gas, I've got 2 tiers to this, and I go to 700 degrees.
Okay, I got ceramic, I've got charcoal, and I go to 800 degrees. I got your pizza covered.
He wins.
Okay, tell you what, we're going to do the grill off. You guys stay tuned.
Come back for a burger.
Hey guys, this is so much fun to open up a new phase of the Next Step house. The technology, the beautiful looks of the outdoor, the fun parties that we're going to be able to have out here for people. So we'd love to open this up, but before that, we have a special thank you to Matt Chyman for what he's done for us today and what he did out here. Thank you so much for all the advice, the stud tips. This has been a fun show.
We would like to invite you to our showroom in Woodland Plaza. You can always visit our website or give us a call. We'd also love to have you out here at the Next Step House. This is located on the northeast side of Fort Wayne, 7467 Flutter Road. You can look up a map on our website as well.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. And as always, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please just pick up the phone, give us a call, visit our website, even better yet, come in the front door. We'd love to meet you and show you some of this great technology.
Guys, we have got to get back to the office. We've got a lot of work. We've done a little overtime, so let's go.
Luke, you and I have to go analyze the fertilization.
I think that's a good idea.
On the home. So why don't we go do that? Not too bad out here, Luke. Not too bad.
Now that Tony and Luke are analyzing the fertilizer, I think we should show them up close and personal how this irrigation system works.
Absolutely. I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
I think you should let them have it.
Our analysis of fertilization on this is going really kind of well.
It's got to be good.
Are you not going to share?
Nope. I was prepared. You know what? I bet this is JR.
It was JR.
Still be torquing though.
All right, ready, guys, and action.
Yeah, you started last
The sun is putting me into a trance. Sorry. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
It's so great to be back here at the Next Step House.
Start that again. I was shushing Luke.
We can't have that shush in there.
Quiet on the set.
That's right.
Do that again.
Nah.
Right here, right?
Yeah, that's good. Right there.
I'll just follow you.
Tell you what, because it really does show.
That's what I'll do.
You gotta hit it. Come on. Yeah, hit it right.
We'll make sure.
For a second, I was like, yeah, let me go. I can do what now?
Looking at beautiful sunny skies around the Summit City today. We're going to have a high of 73. We're going to have some winds coming from the west. Might want to take an umbrella with you for about an hour and a half this afternoon, but other than that, you're going to be in for wonderful weather today, Fort Wayne.
We have got so many things that people should come out and see, and a special thank you today to our special guest, Matt Scheumann, staff member. Thank you so much for all of the advice, the special stud tips. If you'd like to ever come in and talk to him, then you can do that anytime you want to. And I advise
Spud potatoes. We're going to learn how to do potatoes on the next episode.
It's a plan.
We said we needed some.
Okay.